Welcome to DeepVisus, where vision meets depth. Today, we're diving into Renewing Philosophy, a powerful and provocative work by philosopher Hilary Putnam. Originally presented as a series of Gifford lectures, this book is more than a collection of academic arguments. It's a philosophical wake-up call. Putnam challenges the idea that science alone, especially physics and computer science, holds all the answers to our deepest questions. Instead, he invites us to think more deeply, more humanely, and with more humility. So where does the journey begin? Chapter 1 sets the tone by confronting a grand and seductive idea that the human mind can be understood and even replicated as a machine. It's the dream of artificial intelligence in its most ambitious form. If we can just build the right algorithms, the right circuits, the right code, then perhaps one day a computer will think, feel, and know as we do. But Putnam asks us to stop and really think about that. He once believed in this vision himself, the idea that the brain is just a complex computing device and that the mind is a kind of software. But as he explores the details, doubts begin to take root. And in this chapter, he explains why he changed his mind. Let's break it down. Putnam begins by challenging the assumption that human cognition is simply computation, that our thoughts are just inputs and outputs processed by some mental code. He examines the Turing machine model, the mathematical foundation of modern computers, and shows that while it's brilliant for explaining how machines compute, it doesn't capture the messiness and depth of human thought. One striking example he uses is induction, the ability to learn from experience. Think about how you learn that fire is hot, or that certain people can be trusted. There's no fixed formula, no perfect algorithm. Your judgments depend on background knowledge, cultural context, emotional experience, things that are notoriously difficult to formalize. He points out that we're not just logical rule followers. We make subtle inferences, understand metaphors, recognize irony, feel compassion, and crucially, we often question the very rules we've learned. That kind of flexibility, self-awareness, and reflective thinking doesn't emerge from a list of commands. It emerges from being human. Putnam also explores the idea of similarity. It might seem easy to program a computer to recognize a dog. But what about recognizing that a Chihuahua and a Great Dane, creatures that barely look alike, are both dogs? Or that someone who opens a door and someone who opens a conversation are doing something similar, even though they're not? For humans, this kind of recognition is second nature. For machines, it's a mountain of complexity. And even then, success is often shallow, a mimicry of understanding, not understanding itself. Then there's language. Natural language, the way we speak and understand one another, is full of nuance, shifting meanings, and context. Words don't just point to things, they point to intentions, emotions, histories. A machine might parse a sentence grammatically, but does it get what's being said? Putnam says, probably not. Not without importing huge amounts of human background knowledge. And even then, that knowledge would have to be painstakingly curated, programmed, and adjusted, something he believes AI research often downplays or skips over entirely. At the heart of this chapter is a deep question. Can artificial intelligence ever truly replicate human intelligence? Putnam's answer is firm. Not in any meaningful or complete way. Not because machines are too slow or too primitive, but because intelligence, in the human sense, isn't just about solving problems. It's about being situated in a world with values, with relationships, with histories. Intelligence, for us, is deeply lived, not merely computed. He concludes the chapter by drawing a line between simulating intelligence and having it. A chatbot might fool us for a moment. A robot might beat us at chess. But these systems don't reflect on their choices, question their goals, or feel the meaning behind a word. They process data they don't understand. And that's a sobering but important reminder. So as we move forward into an age of increasingly powerful AI systems, we need to ask not just what they can do, but what they can't do, and what we risk forgetting about ourselves if we expect too much from the machines we build. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of DeepVisus. Stay curious.